sports talk worldwide with some news from the world of boxing. So y'all know what time it is. You ain't in a rush to get concussed, baby. Now, talk a little heavyweight news, a little bit. You know, a little Deontay Wilder news, former, WBC heavyweight champion, 10 times, had the title, right, or defended the title 10 times. 42-1 with 41 knockouts. Ridiculous, right? But Deontay Wilder hasn't fought for a while, right? Neither has his adversary Tyson Fury, the WBC champion. They haven't fought for a while. Me personally, I don't even like to talk about Deontay Wilder until I see justice. For me, it's justice. I know a lot of people say, hey, move on. Move on. But a lot of times, I'm going to be straight up, white people do things, you're supposed to take the high road and move on. But when something is unjust to the point of what this could possibly be, and it's not exactly about only what could have happened in the ring between Deontay Wilder and Tyson Fury, it's about the reaction, that there's no one trying to investigate or do anything about it in terms of the media and what people are saying, right? No one is really interested. Deontay Wilder is making excuses. This is all we hear, starting with his suit. And you're not hearing anything about someone who has 1,000 transgressions before. And I always talk about that all the time. But I'm not a move on type of guy, right? These are things, we have fundamental things that separate people from animals. We have laws, right? We have the Constitution, things like that, right? And you see, like, for example, our government comes in and bribes the Ukraine, right? Brand new president of Ukraine, 36 years old, a baby, was a comedian, just took office, and he has to hear from the most powerful person in the world that you're not getting your military money from America unless you find some dirt on my political opponent, right? That's ridiculous. That, our foreign policy is tainted forever for things like that. And not only because of the act, because you can have a rogue president. But when the Congress allows him to do that and sits there and give reasons and excuses for something that's that obvious, you don't move on for that. Because you ask yourself, in the name of what? Would all of Congress ignore something that ridiculous with the world watching? Right? How are we going to ignore people running around in the rotunda in Congress with Confederate flags, right? And ignore that the Pentagon didn't send the National Guard and stuff like that for something that huge. We're talking about not having the the transition of power, peaceful, right? All of those things. You don't move on from that. So this Deontay Wilder thing is just a microcosm of that. You understand? And so, Deontay Wilder came out on Instagram or Twitter or something, took a picture, basically saying, hey, I'm chilling and I'm rich, regardless of what else is going on. And so people are coming in. There was a gun there also, right, on the table. And well, what do you have a gun for? Right? Like, you don't see America, the Wild Wild West. People are running around with guns and holsters. Right? White people are running around from one state to the next, coming with automatic rifles somewhere, shooting people, right? In the name of we're protecting. You understand? You got about 3 brothers walk anywhere with automatic weapons, there's going to be the whole military coming. Or let a couple of Muslims with some turbans on have some weapons walking down the street talking about we're protecting. Right? It ain't happening. Right? So what Deontay Wilder's point was probably with the gun is, you ain't the only one with guns. Come around here with that smack and something, can go down here. Because you're not the only one armed. Right? It's America for everybody. Right? Every time somebody's talking, some conservative somewhere, they can say good morning, and the next thing they say is, they're trying to take your guns from you. Right? The Second Amendment. Hey, foreign policy is not that great, but they're trying to take the guns from you. Be careful of the Second Amendment. All that ridiculousness, right? So that's basically is like, hey, you ain't the only one armed. That's probably what that was. That's how I can read into that. So basically, people are saying, Deontay Wilder hasn't fought in a while. He needs to get in the ring and fight this and fight that and fight who and fight. Like me personally, whatever with that. I don't really care if he fights until I get some closure with what happened with Tyson Fury. I know I'm repeating myself, but that's just me. You know, he can come in and fight whoever after that. He says he wants to fight people who he hasn't fought before and all that, right? But like I said, you know, I would like to see him fight Fury on that third fight, and then we go from there, because that's what fairness would be, right? We have a contract for that. So that's what I'm moving on and let somebody else do constantly transgressions. I'm going to breach contract 3 or 4 times, and because we live in this society, no one's pointing their finger at the guy who keeps doing wrong things, right? We keep talking about Deontay Wilder. He probably, what his point probably was is what mine is. I ain't never got to fight no more. That's what that picture probably is for those who need a translation. I ain't never got to fight no more if I don't want to, right? And let me tell you something. This arbitration and litigation, whatever it is at this point, is also ridiculously taking too long. This is an open shut case, right? But the problem is, just like the insurrection, is you're infiltrated all the way up to the top. 75 million voting for a criminal means you infiltrated to the top. That doesn't mean there's some hicks down on their porches in Virginia, Mississippi, and Alabama. That's not what that is. That's everywhere, right? And we are doing these criminal type acts in the name of something, and we know damn well what it is. So, you know, when it comes to you know, your boy Deontay Wilder, he's not going to get anybody that's going to be, you know, on his side or caring about what his well-being is, right? And the ones that are, you know, always have to look the damn same, and that's what we are, unfortunately. So it's not like we're there. You know, we have a damn civil war right now. So, you know, and for those that are not American that are on Deontay Wilder, stop acting like you don't know what's going on in America and why Deontay Wilder is not where he should be. You know why, right? So address that, and that's what's going on. That's why a Tyson Fury, a foreigner, was able to come, right? And people are on his side. Deontay Wilder's getting booed in America, not Tyson Fury. And Tyson Fury can do a whole lot of things, just like Trump can do a whole lot of things. No one will care, because the bottom line, he won the damn fight. So all of them are not fighting right now. Tyson Fury's not fighting. Deontay Wilder's not fighting. We're waiting around. So, you know, sometimes, you know, Deontay Wilder might come out with something like that, and then, you know, you talk about it a little bit. But at the end of the day, I'm really not really interested in what Deontay Wilder is going to do in terms of fighting, right? Me, personally, I repeat, I need closure for things, because you have, you know, you have a foundation, you know, you have integrity, you want honesty and fairness, right, in life, period, right? And when that's trampled upon, I don't move on to the next thing and say, well, that just happened to him and it's okay. Hell no. And it'll be the same way for others, like for fighters that I don't roll with. Let me take Anthony Joshua, for example. You know, I don't want to see Anthony Joshua be cheated for somebody to beat him, right? Somebody's cheating Anthony Joshua, right? Damn it, that's not fair. So it ain't happening. You know what I'm saying? Even fighters that I don't, you know, roll with even less than Anthony Joshua, like Canelo Alvarez. I don't want to see him be cheated, actually, even though he should be cheated or something, because he's gotten way too much going for him. Everything. I don't know how he's going to deal with adversity when it comes his way, because every single thing that Canelo wants goes his way. But even knowing that, I still don't want to see him be cheated. I still wouldn't want to see somebody come in and do some illegal stuff to beat the guy. Beat him fair and square, no matter what. And that's all this is about. So when it comes to Deontay Wilder, man, whatever what he's talking about, right? Until I hear something come from the court or some kind of agreement that's been made, then we can talk. But before that, it doesn't matter. And like I said before, you know, Deontay Wilder is in a win-win situation here. Doesn't really matter what happens. Either I don't fight. I'll probably put the video in information. But if he don't fight, whatever. If Tyson Fury and Anthony Joshua are allowed to fight, well, they're gonna still have to pay him. You know, so he's in a win-win situation here, regardless of people who don't like him, right? He's in a win-win situation. Period. Don't Sports Talk Worldwide. And I'm about here, y'all.